please welcome the wonderful Danielle Skidmore. Thank you for joining
Super
us.
comfy.
Yeah, it is probably
I'm sinking
riddled
into
with
the
diseases of improvisers and other people who can't afford health insurance. So tell me, Danielle. So I realize that you're like so low there.
It's okay. It's a power thing, I'm sure.
It's good. I make sure everyone is below me. What inspired you to run for city council?
You know, everybody thinks it's Donald Trump, but for me in Austin, it's Dan Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lieutenant
Governor
Dan Patrick.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time at the Capitol last year fighting the bathroom bill, and that whole experience taught me that, you know, when you care about something, when we're under attack, basically, I mean, you see the federal government, you see the state, you see Dan Patrick's obsession with people like me, it's just important to fight back, basically. And people ask me, well, why, you know, you should run. And as an engineer, I mean, I'm thinking, well, I want to run, but I want to do something where I can be really helpful. And traffic in Austin sucks. So, and, you know, I got thinking, I'm really excited to be the first transportation engineer ever on Austin City Council.
Yeah, that's huge. And you mentioned that you were spending a lot of time at the Capitol.
Right.
Beautiful building, terrible things that go on inside.
Absolutely.
And I think it was in 2005 you were advocating to increase newborn screening.
Yeah.
More recently with the bathroom bill, and then also more recently testifying alongside Moms Demand Action.
Sure.
Can you speak to those experiences, especially as someone like you were a resident of Austin, you're not in a public office yet. And what's that like to just go out there and have your voice be heard and tell Dan Patrick to fuck off?
It's actually awesome. You know, go and like sign up to testify. I mean, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but you may have to wait around all day, like we waited around all day with the bathroom bill stuff. But you know, our voices are heard, honestly. So, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm trans, but I'm also a special needs parent, so my son Peter's in a wheelchair. And that's where in 2005, we had a chance to help March of Dimes extend newborn screening for other children like him. And, you know, maybe that experience way back then taught us that it's the same thing, that it seemed obvious to me. It's like, well, who would be against helping children? And yet there were lobbyists that were against. They didn't want to pay for the machine, or they didn't like who was going to get to do the testing. And we got to see sort of the inner workings of politics. And it pissed us off, but it also fired us up to work even harder, you know. So Peter got to keep the pen when Rick Perry signed the bill. And if y'all were in Austin a while ago, it was right after he got pulled over for speeding. And it was like, can we just move on down the road? Like, adios, mofo, I think is what he said. And my ex made me promise not to say that to him, but anyway.
You mentioned how, like, when you're like, when there's something in Texas where it's like common sense.
Yeah.
And who would be against it? You can always find a Texas politician like, who would be against net neutrality? Ted Cruz. Like, there's always a match.
There's a match.
Texas.
There's a shit ton of crazy up at the Capitol.
Yeah. What would have been the biggest challenges you faced in your campaign, especially as a first time running for public office?
Well, like, I'm actually really boring as an engineer, so like running for office, engineers never run for office. So the biggest challenge, and I'm going to say it because she's totally not here, is I have an amazing, brilliant, badass 28-year-old female campaign manager, and she is pushing me to run and to do things like show up for stand-up comedy.
Yeah. She's been on the show.
She's been on the show,
Alicia,
right? Well, last time I was here, she was like, let's do stand-up. And I'm like, I'm not funny, Alicia. And she's like, oh, we'll both go on the show. And I'm like, no. I'm like, she's like, don't worry, I'll be fine. She's like, I'll be funny and you can be the straight man. And I'm like, seriously? And then she didn't show. But like, and she's not here tonight either. So
yeah, I'm going to give her a message.
But no, honestly, it's a really vulnerable experience. I mean, I never imagined like coming out trans a few years ago. Like, I got to do it in Austin. And I'm so lucky for that because my coworkers and friends and neighbors were like, well, this might be new to me, but they're like, you do you. And which is a gift we have living here. But running for office is like a level of vulnerability. Everybody has an opinion on everything I do, and they tell me that all the time. And the internet is, people share a lot on the internet.
Yeah.
So the trolls have found our campaign.
Yeah. Ooh, that was what was the podcast that you and Alicia came across? That's where the real.
So does anybody know who Steven Crowder is? So probably not. This is not a Steven Crowder. You don't look like millennial Alex Jones fans. So, but I was walking walking down Congress Avenue to go to the post office, and with my son, and we passed this guy that had a table set up that said table and microphones, and it said there are only two genders. Changed my mind. And I'm like, I'm like, if he's still there when we come back, I'm going to talk to him. So I sat down and chatted with him, and I thought he was like some local radio person, had a little internet thing. Anyway, it's been watched 4.4 million times on the internet now. Turns out we trended. He's he's one of the top conservative bloggers, and Alicia talked to him too, which was the sort of the must-see TV part of that. Actually,
yeah, I saw she got used in advertisements. I think, right?
She did, but I think that's the part of, I really have come to appreciate other candidates and people that have elected offices. You really are sharing your life, and we got it's 44,000 or 64,000 comments, and there's a lot of really nasty shit that was said about me and my son and my family, and but I look at it and go, hey, it's just all visibility, free advertising, I guess, for the campaign. And then people are learning about I might be trans, but just me. So
yeah, that's inspiring that you even talk, because I would be I would probably try to punch him in the face immediately. And I'm not a violent person, but I like Alex Jones people that are just off their rockers.
I think I got a lot of practice last year at the Capitol because I would sit and talk to these ministers, and they would be like, well, I love you, Miss Danielle, and I would even have lunch with you and be seen with you, and I'm like, well, thanks. And but you are going to hell. And I was like, well, thank you. And so I just kind of channeled that, where I'm like, I'm just going to be me, and you guys keep trying, but it's not going to work. So
it's true. So how important do you feel it is to see inclusiveness among elected officials? Because you would be the first out trans woman to serve on city council when you're elected.
When I'm elected, thank you. Channel that positive energy. I think the representation matters. The trans representation would be cool, especially for people in the LGBTQ community and the trans community. But honestly, representation in Austin, so the district I'm running in is 9, which is right here, actually. It's central Austin. But 70% of the people that live in District 9 are renters. And yet our leadership forever has always basically responded to the long-term Austin landowners. So I'm running because I want to be a voice for young people and students and people that live downtown, and the queer community. And that's what I'm seeing when I'm campaigning and talking to people, is they just want to see something that resonates with them and that it connects with them.
Yeah. No, I can't imagine many candidates coming on a show that is technically in the basement of a video rental store. So I give you and Julie a lot of credit for actually getting out there and talking to mouth breathers.
That's okay. Thanks to Alicia, I have a Thursday night residence at midnight at Rain. So it's just...
That seems very on brand for her.
Put the transgender woman in front of the mostly naked gay men.
So picture this. I had this as Abbott, but I'm going to switch it to Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. You're
Lieutenant
sitting
Dan.
next to evil non-genius Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick on the one train line Austin has. What do you turn and say to him?
The one. What do I say to him? Actually, no. I tell him in person what I sent him a Christmas card for last year. Thank you for helping me to meet 1,000 amazing badass advocates here in the state and all over the country. And, I'd ask him, I'd probably lean in and ask him, come on, you're trans. I mean, honestly, that's our working theory right now, because it's he's so obsessed with it. like if I were being truthful, I would ask, like, what's your thing,
Yeah.
And because it's clearly an obsession.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine it's like Psycho, and instead of the mommy, it's just trans woman. Like, he's just like a fascination.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for
Oh my
coming
God,
on the
thank
show.
you so much. That's so much fun.
Before you leave, we have a tradition on the show to gift the strong female leader with a gift from Dollar Tree, not a sponsor.
Excellent. Good. I can take this, right, because I'm not in elected office.
Yeah,
like Julie
yeah.
and I are scoring all the stuff we can get right now, so.
And so they have these generally problematic wine glasses. Alicia
This
has
is
one
good.
of them. This one says, a meal without wine is called breakfast, which that person needs help. And also because I feel like once you're elected in office as a transportation engineer, you're going to be having to talk to a lot of dum-dums. So here's a really easy way to teach them about things that go on land, vroom vroom. And I think you'll be able to talk to
Very good.
people
we can
like
give this
Lieutenant
to
Governor Dan Patrick.
Patrick. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Danielle